Wendy, grade Team USA's performance versus Australia.
It was a C+, and I want to say that before we even talk about some of the issues that they had, they look good. You know, I have covered Team USA in these run-up games in major events for about a decade now, and they've had some times when they're just coming together where they look really shaky. This team has some things to address, but this team is an awesome team, and you can see the potential that they have. Their margin for error is bigger than before, and one of the things about this team is that, you know, everybody kind of is excited about the LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant playing together. I mean, I'm in Abu Dhabi right now. There were crowds lining up outside the arena last night 2 hours before tip-off just because they wanted to get into the game to watch this team warm up. But it's the young 20-somethings that look great. Ant Edwards is made for international basketball. He looks great. Jason Tatum hasn't lost a step from the NBA Finals. He looks great. Devin Booker, who had a bit of an off season this year, he has come in great condition. The three of those guys together are averaging 34 points a game and shooting 74% in the 2 games so far. They look great. Anthony Davis picked up right where he came off from his, in my view, the best season of his career. He looks great. There's a few other things, including the Durant injury, including a little bit of an issue with Joel Embiid looking sluggish that they have to address. They gave up 68 points in the paint last night. And here's the thing about international basketball. It's very different. It's awkward. And one of the things is it's played in the trenches. Doggy, you got to love it. It's old school, hard-nosed style basketball. The game is decided in the trenches. It is not like the NBA game where the stars are playing the wing and there's three-pointers galore. Yes, you see games where three-pointers are big. It's about the trenches. 68 points in the paint to Australia is a problem. 68 points in the paint in a 48-minute NBA game is going to get you chewed out by your coach. 68 points in the paint in a 40-minute FIBA game, not acceptable. So that happened, and they got to deal with that. But on balance, I think this Team USA is showing the promise that we all thought they could have.
I don't know the brackets, and I know everybody gets into the medal round. Was it 2 per bracket? I know they play Jokic's team right out of the gate. Give me a little rundown on that. That's what it comes down to, the Olympic bracket. Are they in a good Olympic bracket to get to that medal round, Brian? I don't even know. Help me out there.
Doggy, they have a great draw. Okay, they are in a pool where, yes, Serbia is the best team, and Serbia is a real challenge because of Jokic. But the other 2 pools are more difficult. The pool of death, which is Group A in this event, has Canada and Australia and Spain in it. That's 3 of the top 7 ranked teams in the world, and probably only 2 of them are going to make it out of that. So Team USA doesn't, they're in good shape. There's 12 teams, 8 teams advance. Now, you brought up Jokic. This is a team to watch. Last night, I'm here in Abu Dhabi. Guess who's sitting in the stands, Christine? Sitting like 10 feet to my right in like the 20th row. Nikola Jokic. He wanted to come and see what this team looked like for himself. He was just sitting in the stands. The crowd's going crazy. They're all NBA-savvy people here. They can't believe the MVP is just walking around in the stands. But Jokic wants to see what his team plays. And yes, Team USA will be at an advantage over all these teams. But Jokic sees 68 points in the paint, guys, and he thinks he might be able to do something. So they play Serbia tomorrow. Then they still have some more time to get Durant back, to get Embiid in shape. They're almost certainly a lock to advance to the medal round. They really need to play their best basketball the week in Paris, 3 weeks from now, when they play the round of 8, the semifinals and finals. That's where they need to be at their best. That's what the mission for this team is, and that's what they're working on.
Wendy, what's the latest that you're hearing on the starting 5 that Team USA will use in the Olympics?
Yeah, I know. The starting 5 is always, it's a fun topic and it's a controversial topic. I don't think it's something we need to pay attention to right now. The reason people are talking about it is because Embiid has not looked very good so far, and Anthony Davis has looked great. So just last night, Steve Kerr started one group of players, and then in the third quarter started 5 different players. So he's not exactly he's trying not to commit to anything right now, I think for a couple of different reasons. He doesn't want to put pressure. He doesn't want as much scrutiny. He was asked last night whether Joel Embiid would for sure stay in the starting lineup, and he didn't say yes. He kind of gave an answer that he's still evaluating things. But here's the thing about Embiid. We know he was banged up during the end of the season. They lost early in that first round in that tense series against the Knicks. He took some time off for that to let his injuries heal up. He definitely looks rusty. There's no doubt. He looks a little sluggish. He looks a bit of a half step behind. All these guys on his team pretty much, and all the guys that they're playing, have a lot of experience playing FIBA basketball. He has never really done it. And you can see it. Last night, in FIBA, one of the big rules is you're allowed to take the ball off the rim. There's no goaltending if you can take it off the rim, as long as it hits the rim first. He can't swat it away before it hits the rim. But once it hits the rim, no matter where it is, you can take it. Last night, the Australian center, Jock Landale, plays a backup for the Houston Rockets, been playing FIBA basketball his whole life, takes the ball out of the middle of the rim. Joel freaks out, yells at the referee to call goaltend. It's not a goaltend, which is just an example of him being sluggish. So they're going to give him time. Whether he starts or not, doesn't matter. What's important to realize is Team USA needs to be at their best the last week in Paris, the second week of August. They need Embiid when they play France on the elimination. They need Embiid when they potentially play Serbia in the elimination. They need Embiid when they potentially play Germany, who is the World Cup champions, all big guys. That's when they need Embiid. They don't need Embiid to look great against Jokic in mid-July. They need him in mid-August. That's important to keep in mind.
Wendy, when you look at what Team USA is hoping to do in the Olympics, what do you think is the biggest obstacle facing them?
Yeah, so the big thing about it is the FIBA game is just so different. The difference between a 48-minute game and a 40-minute game, I can't overstate how much of a difference it is, because the NBA teams, we see in the NBA all the time, we see teams get behind by 15 and come back and win. That happens every night in the NBA. Every point you are behind in a FIBA game is like 1.25 points because the game is shorter. Team USA can, like last night, they're up 16 points, okay? They sort of lose focus for a little bit. Next thing you know, the lead is down to 4. They hold on, no big deal. But you can't let that happen in a single elimination 40-minute setting. You can't have a bad 6 minutes or you're out, gold medal gone. That is something that has to be rammed home to the NBA players who are not used to playing this way. So we're going to watch to see if they have these lulls or whether they learned their lesson last night.
That's super interesting. Yeah,
Very.
Mad Dog saying the same thing. We've mentioned it, but I just want everybody to know Team USA will play Serbia in an exhibition tomorrow, and then they open Olympic play against them on July 28th. Don't you like how Wendy's just casually saying that he's in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, he's funny. I'm sure he flew Emirates on a first class.
Doggy,
Right, exactly.
You would love Abu Dhabi, except there's no gambling and no gummies. Don't even try it. But other than that, you would love Abu Dhabi.
Good job, Brian. I love it.